I honestly, all right. I almost don't even want to talk about Halo Infinite, but we're gonna.
Let's go. Talk some fucking horrible stuff.
Between the CM Punk stuff going on in wrestling and Halo Infinite's news last week, it's been like really defeating week for me.
Speaking of Halo, though, before we start, have you seen the new IGN article that came out 2 days ago about Halo Infinite?
No.
It is titled Halo Infinite won't get split screen co-op, but players have worked out how to do it now. And the intro text is split screen finds a way.
Ha! That's funny. Yeah, I was actually, I'm just on the, right now, there's an article from, I don't even know what that website is, but it says Halo Infinite couch co-op still possible with a workaround. The thing about this, I almost feel like we could get to that at some point in this conversation, but one of the craziest things about this terrible let me give the news first. Okay, so basically Halo Infinite, after promising that Halo will never launch without online couch split screen co-op ever again. That's what Bonnie Ross said after Halo 5 because it didn't have it and it was a big controversy. Halo Infinite now has announced that they are scrapping couch co-op split screen to focus on other things. And they said, while it is possible that they could work on it eventually again, the answer is more than likely not. It's something they've probably scrapped. That was the biggest news. On top of that, Season 3 is delayed again, if I recall correctly. Forge, I can't remember if it was delayed or not, but it is coming out in November, and that's the one really positive bright spot. Forge looks amazing. I don't know, just shit was delayed. There's new maps. They don't look that great. When they said that it wasn't going to have split screen co-op, I really felt, and I think a lot of Halo fans finally, even the
it's the end of an era.
Yeah, they were like, well, I think they were just thinking it's the end of Infinite. I think a lot of people were like, fuck. Because they can't get the free-to-play service model down. The Battle Pass stuff, it's not going very well. A lot of the stuff they do have, it's not interesting. It's just stupid. It's lame.
Too much.
Halo Infinite's just, it's not in a good place. And when I heard it, I was seriously like demoralized for like the rest of my day. Because it was like, God fucking damn it. I've still been playing the multiplayer every day though. But yeah, I mean, and that was the biggest, kind of news that came out of this. And let's just checking the comments there. I don't know what else to say about fucking Halo Infinite, but where I was going earlier, though, what's really insane about Halo Infinite's development, because we know some of the behind-the-scenes stuff going on with 343 is not pretty right now. It sounds like contractors is a big reason why, because they're prioritizing contractors over long-term employment, which is not going well for a game of this size especially. And I guess this new engine sounds like it's really hard to work with. There have been some sources that have said that. The Slipspace engine, which was made for this game, it's the only game that uses it, and it's one of the reasons that co-op was not going very well. Now, the good news is that it does sound like online co-op, which had a beta recently, is actually going extremely well. They finally figured that out. The bad news is they still couldn't fucking figure out split screen. Jesus Christ. But what's even crazier about all this is that what you just read me, this is not the first time we've heard of something like this where the fans have figured out a way to do split screen co-op somehow when these fuckers at 343 couldn't. And I know it sounds like, well, like maybe a fan has more time or they figured something out. It's like, okay, but did you know that there are people who have modded Infection into the game already? And there was one user who modded Infection into the game in a fucking week all by himself. Where is Infection? Where are some of these game modes? Is it this hard to get this stuff in there? I'm not trying to make it sound like, man, game development's not tough and all that stuff, but it's like, okay, but some of these things that are missing could be fixed. Again, not easier said than done, but like that, like in a fucking week. Like, you have a team of people.
Yeah,
I don't
really
understand a lot of this stuff. Like, I can understand the free-to-play model not going very well. Actually, I predicted it. I was one of the few. Well, I'm not saying that people weren't saying. I don't know if people were saying it before this game came out. I remember saying, you know what? I think that the seasons are going to kind of get delayed and stuff because a lot of companies underestimate how tough this Battle Pass Fortnite free-to-play model, blah, 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 is. I can forgive them for that. I can forgive them. And I also predicted that a lot of the items you would get from the first season or two of Halo Infinite were not going to be that great, because that's another thing that they underestimate is how hard it is to, like, get items that people really, really want and how quickly you have to make interesting skins and stuff like that. They can't just be, like, new color schemes. So when I saw that they were like, oh, you can, like, buy this Mountain Dew and you'll get the color purple, I was like, oh, boy. It was like a cross-promotion thing. I knew. I was like, okay, give them some time on that. Forge, I mean, unless they want to delay the game another year, I can kind of understand why that's missing, but there are just certain things like Infection. Where? Like, jeez, is it that hard? Is it not a priority? Because at this point, I'd be just like, hey, the multiplayer's working for us. That's the best thing this game has going for it. Because the campaign was okay, but split screen co-op is gone. Keep working on the online co-op. Yes, I understand that, but if you've got the multiplayer up and running, people, it's the one of the few things about this game that people really, really enjoy because they love the mechanics of Infinite. Keep adding to it. And I know they got new maps and stuff coming out, but I'm not just talking about that. I'm like, we need some new game modes. And, and I'm not saying, like, new game modes necessarily from, like, completely new. Something like Infection, perfect! Just get it in there. I don't care what you got to do. Get Infection in there because it's a game mode that a lot of people love. It's starting to feel like Halo is not like a social game anymore. They're completely focusing on the competitive aspect. And trust me, I play Halo competitively. That's usually what I play. But I also like the social aspect, and I'm not going to get any friends to play this game if, they don't nail that, which Forge will help. And it's not going to have a custom games browser day one, so gotta wait for that, And it's just, I was so frustrated by a lot of this, it made me defeated. The only reason I'm still playing Halo Infinite is because I like competing. I like the, playing ranked and all that stuff. I gotta put some of the blame on Microsoft. That's something that a lot of people aren't saying. A lot of people are saying 343 fucked all this up, and I'm like, yeah, they fucked up a lot of it, but it's also Microsoft because they should be managing some of this. They should be, a little bit more involved, just a little, because it sounds like things are not going well over there, and they're the ones who should be, in theory, funding certain things and yada yada. But yeah, this is all fucked. I mean, 343, it's just... Though I think the way the company is run internally just doesn't sound like it's working very well, especially if we're talking about the contractor segment where what they're doing is having contractors come in and then in 6 months they leave. So then they got to train new people on this fucking slip space engine that sounds like ass. I'm so fucking disappointed. Again. Like, how many times can we fuck up Halo here? It doesn't have a lot of juice left. If we're talking, and as a matter of fact, if we're talking about the hype from people that played like Halo 3 and stuff, I think that they wanted it to be this game. I think they thought this game was going to be it. It's over now. It's gone. So Halo, in my opinion, has turned into something that you've lost a huge audience and they're not coming back. You have diehard fans and some people who will dabble it in every now and then. I don't think that you're ever going to get that massive audience ever again. And a lot of people's sentiment at this point was just like, let's just restart over. And I'm like, I just don't think it'll I don't know if it'll matter at this point. It would take so long for another Halo game to come out. And by then, I just don't think people will give a fuck. I'm mad. There.